Good morning, Vanessa. How are you today?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you very much. I'm very excited because we are beginning to see a shift in the market, finally. That's exciting, isn't it?
It's very exciting.
So these sub 7% interest rates has definitely begun to pique the interest of sellers that we've had in our system for quite some time. Some of them were trying to sell as long ago as COVID, 2020. Some of them since then, a lot of them have expired listings because they thought they had caught the market at the top and put their homes on the market too high and failed to sell. But they're now thinking of, okay, maybe we try again and become more realistic this spring. So from the buyer's point of view, what are you seeing?
I'm seeing a lot more buyers who were on hold during the fourth quarter of 23 who are coming back into the market. They're hearing about the fact that mortgage rates have lowered. They're hearing it in the media. They're hearing it on the news. They're hearing it from their friends. They're seeing it from people like myself who are posting about it. So it's really great in that respect. I'm seeing a lot more people coming into the market. However, we are going to need to see more inventory because it's really tough for these buyers to get their offers accepted. I had two instances this week where one person in Larchmont went 100,000 above ask, still didn't get the house, and another couple who offered 75 above ask in New Rochelle and didn't get the house. Both homes had more than 16 offers on them.
Good gracious. So is it still cash that's winning the day at the moment?
That I don't know in those specific instances, but I will say that more buyers are willing to waive contingencies, and they are recognizing that they need to be as competitive as possible in this market. So we're seeing people waiving mortgage contingencies, waiving appraisal contingencies. We're even seeing people who are willing to allow for the inspection to be for information purposes only, but not potentially be a deal killer.
I think that's a fairly smart move, as long as they do an inspection for health and safety reasons. That's really, really important.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree to that, because if a house, God forbid, has mold or there's radon levels are extremely high or something like that that could have very damaging health effects. No, that's a lost cause. You can't go for that.
Absolutely. So, what else can people do? I mean, if they bid too high and the house doesn't appraise, how can they do something about that?
Again, depending on their situation and what their down payment looks like, in some cases, it won't even have any adverse effect whatsoever, especially if somebody is putting down 30% or more.
Wow.
Obviously, it's really not going to have that much of effect because let's just say hypothetically someone's buying for $1 million, putting down 30%. The property appraises instead for 900,000 instead of $1 million. It still is not going to have any effect whatsoever on their financing. It's not going to put them in a situation where PMI insurance is required, and it's not going to have any adverse effect whatsoever.
Hey, do you know what we've been seeing? Higher down payments at contract. Whereas
Yes.
historically, people have been putting a little bit down and at the beginning at contract in case they lose it, something goes wrong, and then a lot more down at the actual closing, and then mortgaging the rest. Now we're seeing people, we just had somebody came in with 500,000 cash at contract.
That's amazing. I,
Well,
I do I do have someone in Long Island who was purchasing a condo in the Smithtown area, about 625 purchase price, and they offered to put 20% down a contract, and that's what won them the bid. It wasn't a matter of doing 10% a contract and 10% and backed up with their mortgage. 20% at contract, and that won them their bid.
and I can see why, can't you?
Oh, totally. If somebody's willing to put more skin in the game and put themselves at risk potentially if something were to go wrong, definitely. I could totally see why. The agents like yourself and listing agents have a fiduciary responsibility to their client that they have to represent them in a way to try to navigate and field through multiple offers, double-digit offers. It's wild. And then you're trying to figure out, you don't want to have egg on your face if you have 18 offers and then you go to contract with the one person who can't get the financing or isn't very viable.
Oh, isn't that that would be a terrible shame. Yeah,
Cool.
negotiation skills are paramount in this market, as are the skills of PSAs, pricing strategy advisors. I don't know if people know about that. You're aware of that, obviously. That
Yes.
pricing strategy advisors are the realtor equivalent to an appraiser.
Right.
The nearest thing you can be to an appraiser. So if you're thinking of listing a home, having an agent that's a PSA is really quite important because they have a much better idea, a handle on the current market conditions.
I do want to share with you that we had our team rally yesterday at the Captain Lawrence Brewery in Elmsford,
Oh, yeah.
and we were reviewing best practices and going over different strategies and tips and things that are going to win us the business in 24. And there was a lot of really helpful, useful information that came out of this. In fact, believe it or not, 85% of home buyers do not even pick their lender based on the best interest rate. And it really just goes to show that really putting people at ease and really making people feel comfortable and connecting with them is so important, and how people want to do business with people they like and people they trust.